Okay, in this video, we're going to show you how to import data into the Vibration Data Toolbox. So I have two CSV files here. One is a quick, a small PSD here of frequency and amplitude. Another file is a larger recording of time series data. The A column is time, then x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. So there's two ways to import. Let's use them both. Here is the workspace, and the workspace shows the variables that are loaded into the tool. This was something that the NDAC team had to add to Tom's Vibration Data Toolbox because it was written to be more run natively in MATLAB, and so we exposed this workspace. So load here. You'll want to use this tool if you have maybe many columns of data and you want each column to be its own variable. So I'm going to go to that demo file that's data from a Ford F-150. You'll see loading file. And then in a moment, I should get a table view that lets me specify the variable names per array, per column. Here we are. And I will say time for T, X, axis, y-axis, z-axis, and then hit open. And if I click refresh in here, you'll see those four variables that I just loaded. I'm going to load now that smaller file. And it's going to have an issue because there were column headers. So I'm going to close out of that. And generally, if you have an issue from the workspace loading feature, let's go into the other tool, which is over here, import data. Now you can load a map file that will have a specific variable name already included, or you could use this ASCII text file type. Over here on the right are data sets that are kind of pre-loaded. So this would be if you want to check out how to use the tool or follow along in some of Tom's tutorials, you'll use this area over here. But I think generally people will be focusing on the ASCII text file. So read array, and I'll specify a name here. So I'm going to say Ford, and you say whether it has header files, header lines or not. I'm going to select the input file, and I'm going to do that first one I did a moment ago. Then I have to press this button. Now remember, this file had 4 columns, and so because of that, it created several different array. Well, you can, let's see here. If I go to my workspace, there's one variable that was just added that was that has 4 columns like the CSV, but now I can separate each column into its own individual channel. And you will see here, if I click refresh, now I have Ford 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so this is a nice way to do it. The only downside of using this tool is we're duplicating a lot of data here that's loaded. So you know, everyone has pretty advanced computers now, so it shouldn't really be a big deal, but that's the only downside. I like this import feature. Now, if we come back here and load another array, and this is that PSD, this one has a header line. That might have been the issue we had before. No. What is the issue we had before? Let me delete that header line. Okay. There we go. And if I come back here to my workspace, fresh, there's the PSD now loaded. Okay, so that's how we import data into the toolbox. To refresh, to recap, There's two ways to do it. One is in this workspace and clicking load. Recommend that for if you want to kind of specify your variable names as you're loading in the data. But this tool over here on the bottom right, import data to MATLAB, and then clicking read array. This gives you a lot of functionality. The only downside is it can duplicate data that's loaded, but it's pretty robust and lets you import many different file types. This workspace will be where you look either way, and it will show you the variables. So now let's use these variables. So let's go and we'll demonstrate kind of the difference of the imports. If you go here to select analysis, and we'll do we'll calculate a PSD. So I can do the forward one. I'll plot from 1 to 4,000 hertz. And I'm going to plot this here. So frequency bin width of a little over 1 hertz. So here's that PSD of the x-axis data. And that was nice. I just had to say forward 1, or I could do forward 2, and then calculate the PSD. And this is the y-axis. Now, if I want it, that was when I used the import from the bottom right of the main window. If I want to do that other way you load data, where you specify a variable per column, I can do that. I just have to specify it in here. I would do t comma y in brackets, and then view processing option. I'll pull up the plot and I'll show you. It should be the same plot once I calculate. It's the same data. So it's just, and if it's just a distinction of how you import data and then how you use it. All of Tom's features, if you see up here, he's expecting 2 column variables. One is time or frequency, and the other one is amplitude. So that's his import feature. We'll force that upon you, or you could use this other one to do single column variable names per column. And that's how you import data and use that data. And I'll, showing you the workspace here. I can save this PSD, clean, save. I should see this new variable now in the workspace. Okay. With that, hopefully this helps you import data into the Vibration Data Toolbox and then use it. And there's a ton of tutorial videos on the Vibration Data blog by Tom Irvine, and we've also shared some tutorials and help documentation. But enjoy your testing and analysis. Data analysis is always the best part. So enjoy, and please don't hesitate if you have any questions. Thanks.